It is a medically supervised withdrawal and stabilization facility. So last year, Governor Cuomo became very concerned with the high rate of opioid abuse, death, and we've been coming to the board 3 or 4, maybe 5 times already, and literally on each occasion we've come, within the week prior to that, there's been some type of horrific article that has been the front page of the Register Star talking about, heroin abuse and deaths that have occurred in the community. And what's been happening is there is a gap in the type of coverage which is available for somebody who wants to seek help with their addiction. And the gap exists between a period where somebody may have overdosed and gone to the hospital, to Columbia Memorial Hospital or other regional hospitals, and once they are no longer in a position where they need medical treatment, but rather they need treatment to address their addiction, essentially the hospital returns them back to the street. And what ends up happening is, because of their unfortunate addictions, and they don't have a place to turn to help them withdraw while they're trying to potentially go into some rehabilitation facility, they go back to using. And so what this facility is about is, it's a stopgap to help somebody who voluntarily wants to get help, who's suffering from an addiction. And what would happen is, if they were taken out of the hospital, instead of going onto the street, they're going to be able to go into this 20-bed facility and spend, on average, 1 to 7 days. Most of the people are medicated to allow them, in this quiet setting, to come down and make some conscious decisions about rehab. So all people that are going to be in this facility are there voluntarily. Nobody's forced there. Nobody's driven there against their will. These are people who want to get help, who need some help. And during the 7 days that they're at the facility, they're being provided with counseling, with whole health assessments, with pharmacological treatment. Many of them suffer when they're going through withdrawal symptoms, pain and what have you, and they're given pharmacological assistance. It's staffed 24 hours a day by nurses. There's a doctor on call 24 hours and at the facility every day. They are given counseling and assistance on what rehabilitation facilities there are in our community, in our greater community, and assisted with transitioning into them. So in total, that's what the facility is about. This is Steve Michio. He is the head of People USA. He can give you a little bit more information. Steve's involved and operates these types of facilities south of here. But before I finish and turn it over to Steve, I just want to point out that Columbia and Greene County are 2 of the worst per capita opioid trouble spots in the entire state of New York. And by way of example, on a crude per 100,000 population, the New York statewide rate for overdose deaths on any opioids is 15.5. So in other words, 15.5 per 100,000 people in the population. Columbia and Greene County, Columbia is at 21. Greene County is at 25. They're some of the highest per 100,000 rates in the state. So this facility is going to serve a tremendous benefit to the community as a whole. So Steve, if you want to just fill in a little bit about your background.
Sure. Hi, everyone. We're a nonprofit organization. We operate, our headquarters is in Poughkeepsie, New York, but we serve 9 counties in New York State, from St. Lawrence County down to Westchester County. And what we've done over the years is created alternatives to crisis care in the work that we've done. And we created a stabilization center where people can go to instead of a hospital for mental health, addiction care, as well as whole health care. So that they didn't get the trauma, they didn't feel the trauma of what it's like to go to a hospital emergency. Because it can be very traumatic going there. It can be very traumatic going inpatient as well. And we design things that connect people to community services at work. And that's been our work over the years. We've developed respite houses for people that are in psychiatric crisis. Instead of going to the hospital, they come to our house. It's like a bed and breakfast. They stay 5 to 7 days. And they learn wellness tools when they're with us on how to deal with those crises and how to avoid those crises in the future. And then we stay connected to the people we serve. I think our mental health and addiction services have always kind of had these gaps where you get served, you get a discharge plan, you get sent home, and within a week, 2 weeks, 30 days, you're back in the hospital again because the discharge plan was very difficult to manage. So if you didn't have the money to get your copay money to get your medication, or if you didn't have transportation to get to your appointment, or if you didn't have an appointment booked to get to your appointment if you forgot it, then you end up back in crisis again. And I've always been of the philosophy of that, let's work on preventing the crisis, because that's what keeps people well, that's what keeps the community well. And so we do a lot of work in that field, in the field of mental health and addiction, to really help people utilize the services more appropriately, get the best out of the services that they get, and to not have to be married to a system of care. Addiction, as many may know, is very difficult. The average in the United States of recovery from addiction can be up to even more than, but the average is 8 rehabs before somebody finally really clicks and embraces the recovery. So we know that it's really hard to recover from opiates, from alcohol, from the addictions that are out there. And we want to address it. So we don't want to just take people in 1 to 7 days, we'll see you later, we clean you up. No, we want to make sure that you go into a facility that actually does the work that you need to do to get yourself into a better recovery. And then we want to continue to follow you and work with you so that we make sure that we can help you in maintaining your recovery. And my organization has been doing that because all of my staff have been diagnosed with either a mental health issue or a substance use issue and have recovered. And they understand in a real, grassroots, but also professional and also very learned way of what they went through and what they don't want other people to have to go through. So we've created this whole philosophy and treatment in our organization that really does break the cycle of going home to crisis to hospital, home to crisis to hospital. And we want to do the same thing with the addiction world. Because, again, my staff have been through this, and I think we've got a pretty good way of dealing with it. And we're going to use any and every avenue that we have at our reach to get people into the services that they deserve.
So Brandy Nelson is here. If you want, she can maybe do a quick review of the actual site plan. Brandy, why don't you go through some of the engineering work that we've undertaken?
Do you guys mind if I address the group since you guys have been familiar with them? So, good evening, everyone. So the site as is proposed for development is a 4.9 acre parcel. It was formerly an industrial site on the corner of Union Turnpike and Merle Avenue. A number of years ago, back in the 90s, the industrial building on the site was basically removed, just sort of scraped off, and the foundation slabs still remain on both that property. So this is redevelopment of a previously developed and disturbed piece of property. The proposal is to have the new facility, the 20-bed facility, which is about 10,600 square feet. It's a single-story building. We even have a rendering of what the building will look like. So single story. It's designed to have both the medical, administrative, food service, and dormitory type function for the facility. The parking lot will face Merle Avenue. The parking lot will accommodate primarily the employees of the facility who are there, as we said, 24 hours a day. There are 4 handicap spaces and 20 regular spaces. There are instances where family members may come to support the residents of the facility. There are instances where a vehicle may come and drop someone off or pick someone up. So we try to accommodate with the parking layout. And then, as any facility that's occupied regularly by people, they'll need to have delivery. So there's a delivery area and loading area proposed on the north side of the building. The building is intentionally set well back from Union Turnpike. The desire is to have a very quiet, low-profile space where people have, contemplative, quiet area to work on their recovery and not have the distractions of the highway going by or any loud noises. So we're set back from the road on the back side of the property. Working with the town, what we're proposing is to really just aesthetically clean up the view of the site from Union Turnpike. So that's going to include cleaning up the sort of debris and overgrowth on the slab, and capping it and grassing it with drought-tolerant lawn grass, and then planting along Union Turnpike behind the sidewalk a row of street trees that can eventually grow up and provide some shading there. There's additional landscape that's proposed around the building and around the parking area on Laurel Ave, and again, working with the town, there's a proposal to continue the sidewalk network that currently exists on Union Turnpike down along Laurel Ave, just to help the town with future plans for sidewalk development. The facility will be connected to the municipal infrastructure, which is sewer and water, electric service, and the storm drainage system. And there will be an area in the back of the building that would be fenced in with stockade-style privacy fencing, just so that if someone wants to go outside, take advantage of a nice day or sit outside, that they've got a quiet, contained space for them to be in. But in general, as Steve has mentioned before, people are going to spend the majority of their time being inside the building working on their recovery. So pretty basic site plan.